Hey, we've received a few responses from the CEO addressing the Nerf Backlash. We'll also discuss the recent Arrowhead stream and the concerns from players about whether the developers actually played the game. Also, there have been some leaks discovered, which we'll talk about in today's video as well, and so much more. We're going to begin by going over the latest CEO response on the Nerf Backlash. The chief executive replied to a few players about the issues as of late, and the developers are planning on releasing the hotfix soon already. Yeah, it's not what I was expecting, but it's going to happen. So, Shams Georgiani created this post and said, "We've got a ton of players returning to the game to give it a go. We're tracking bugs, issues, and planning ahead of the hotfix. I'm getting a lot of feedback on different parts of the update. Different players groups are liking, disliking different things, depending on playstyle." Not only did he post this, but he also said in a new post that there should be some tweaks and changes coming along soon. The biggest issue I've experienced after this patch, which I hope will be resolved in the next hotfix update, I'm sure you're not going to be surprised by this, but it's been crashes. I've been just experiencing this constantly, and it's been a very lackluster experience. So basically, I've experienced crashes while kicking a player. I've crashed when using the orbital walking barrage on the highest difficulty. Not sure if that's the issue there. So there's been quite a few issues, and if they do not fix the crashes again entirely, then I'm afraid we're going down the same exact path as before, and that really sucks. I've read some comments in the past where some of you have claimed the developers are using an old engine for Helldivers 2 and blamed the engine for crashing and bugs that, we have right now. So honestly, I cannot make that claim, but that is what some of you have been saying, and if that's true, then that might be the case as of late as to why we're seeing all these issues. Also, quick side note, right now on Steam, some players are review bombing it or changing their reviews from positive to negative reviews. Continuing forward, the CEO went on to say, "To nobody's surprise, casual dads, moms, all the way to the Milsim players are enjoying different things. We'll keep monitoring and seeing how things are going in day or so." I used those terms loosely, not an exact science, don't quote me. Some are going to buff everything. Others are saying other things, it's too easy, most are in-game. Just playing, every new big update requires a bit of playtime before we know which direction to fine-tune things. Appreciate the patience. Okay, the way that was typed out, that was a little rough to read. But anyways, I believe we should see some occasional nerfs if it's justifiable. But the changes to the SG-8 Slugger, first and foremost, was the strangest changes in my opinion, because the Slugger previously received a nerf because apparently to Alexis at the time, it was hands down best sniper rifle in the game, as you can see in this post right here. And on that note, the developers have just created a post on Steam explaining some of the weapon changes. The first one is the SG-85 Slugger. The developers wrote, "By increasing the stagger force of the Slugger, we hope to restore its identity that was lost after the previous change back in patch 01.000.200. The increased spread and drag should compensate for the improved stopping power and enhance the fantasy of a powerful shotgun firing large caliber rounds, while limiting its visibility beyond medium range." I'll be honest, this sounds great on paper, but then when you actually use the weapon, it's not that great, and I feel like this is not a great change, and I'm sure a lot of you can agree with me on that one. The next one they talk about is the SG-22 IE Breaker Incendiary. Right here, the developers have stated, "After multiple changes to the fire damage, the Incendiary Breaker quickly became one of the most powerful weapons in the game, as it absolutely dominated the Terminate frontline and is a bit too reliable when facing the bugs, overshadowing the other weapons. By increasing the recoil and reducing the maximum number of magazines, we intend to make Incendiary Breaker more demanding for good ammo economy while keeping its immense power intact." This right here, I'm sort of lost for words because the developers are basically saying, hey, you like that weapon? Well, we nerfed it. That's why. This is what it sounds like to me, because this weapon was a fan favorite and now it's still a fan favorite, I would say, but it's not as great as it used to be, right? And I think this is disappointing when it comes down to all the nerfs, because this was one of those weapons that was a go-to. Why couldn't they just introduce a new weapon? Oh wait, they were going to introduce the newest Warbond with those new flamethrower weapons. But guess what? Those have been nerfed because the flamethrower does not affect the freaking chargers. It's crazy. Anyways, the next weapon they go into detail and explain a little bit about the changes is the GP31 grenade pistol. And the developers wrote, the original version of the grenade pistol was quite inconsistent compared to the other weapons. It essentially tripled the amount of grenades available to the player, but required 4 ammo boxes to be fully refilled. By reducing its ammo capacity, we want the choice of the grenade pistol to be more deliberate, and we think that restoring more grenades from a single box will compensate for the loss of ammo and will make the grenade pistol more reliable for any mission type. Again, this is another change that absolutely makes no sense to me. Even when they explain it, it just feels just dumb. It doesn't feel right. And I don't know, guys. I mean, this grenade pistol was great for any mission type before, and maybe it's not too bad with this change, but it's just an unnecessary change, in my opinion. Coming up at number 4, the developers went on to talk about the MLS 4X Commando, and this is what they had to say. The ability of Commando's missiles to destroy automaton fabricator buildings from any angle was unintended behavior. However, the community clearly voiced their enjoyment of this particular bug. We do plan on fixing this, but have decided to take some time to think this through and not make any rash decisions on how best to rebalance this weapon. Yeah, this one right here I was afraid was going to receive a nerf, but they did not mention anything, and when I was testing this weapon out specifically, yeah, it was able to destroy fabricators and everything still. So it's good that they have not touched it just yet, and hopefully they take some of this negative feedback seriously. I mean, it's negative to them, but honestly, it's actually positive because a lot of these changes are ridiculous. So here's what I think would be the proper move overall, and disclaimer, I'm not a developer, of course. I know that's not a shocker, but I thought I would throw that in here, right? Yet I think you might agree with some of the things I'm about to say, so I'll make this fairly short here. We'll start off with the Knight SMG. It's awesome, a great gun, and fun to use, yet I believe it should hold more ammo, and also we should be able to change the weapon's fire mode to either single shot, burst, or fully automatic. Secondly, the Liberator Penetrator absolutely needs a ammo and damage increase buff, and on that note, the ammo overall for certain weapons should see an increase as well. If you feel differently or would like to throw in your own comments about it, definitely do so because I'll be keeping an eye out for it. Anyways, the CEO informed another player that he will be taking in the feedback and letting the developers know what's going on. The exact post can be seen here, and he says, I think me going in there and telling them to buff Weapon X is a terrible way to run a company. What I will do, however, is ask them what our design goals are, ask them to listen to the players, and look at data and ask if we've achieved our goals. With this response right here, I think the CEO should definitely ask the developers to take a look at the comments, do some research on their own, take a look at the suggestions, basically, and see if there's a common theme. If there is, then they might be on the right track of figuring out what the player base wants overall. I think we all can agree on the ammo aspect that I talked about earlier, but hey, you know, I just do not know what they were thinking with this patch. It seems like they could have done better in terms of tweaking and balancing in general, and it just seems like they definitely missed, because half of the patch notes were a bit underwhelming for such an exciting update, right? If you haven't seen the video prior, I went over the before and after update, and one of the things I didn't get the chance to test was the flamethrower. If you don't know about this nerf, basically the developers adjusted the way the flamethrower inflicts damage, which really messed up those of us who were using it against chargers. It was one of the best stratagems ever, you know, besides some of the other options like a commando or a spear. But hey, I'll give you a great example on what I'm talking about here. So if you check this video out right here, or this clip on screen, this is what you could do prior. You could actually take out a charger. The damage was basically impeccable, and I sure loved using it. After the update, it's now just not as useful as it once was, because the developers, as I just mentioned, changed it quite dramatically, as you can see here. To be fair, I was not expecting the developers to nerf two fan-favorite weapons like the Incendiary Breaker and the Flamethrower. It just seems absolutely mad. If you agree with me and you think the developers should revert the nerfs, or, you know, focus more on buffing weapons, then tap the like button below, and also let me know how you feel about this change specifically, as well as the anti-tank mines. If you have not tried it out already, it's available. And what are my thoughts about it? I think it's alright. It's not bad against chargers and, you know, different enemy types, except for the Bile Titan. It has no effect, as you can see here. Alrighty, we are now going to talk about the latest live stream on the Helldivers 2 Steam page. If you guys have not checked it out, definitely do so. if you're on Steam, you could pick up the new armor. I forget what it's called for some reason, but you could pick up the newest armor for free 48 hours early. But that aside, why are we going to talk about it? Because the developers might actually not know what they're doing, or at least some of the Arrowhead employees. So this Reddit user named Jajic received about 3.2k upvotes on this post and said, "The ongoing live stream explains everything." Then wrote in this post and said, "Right now they're fighting against the automatons on low difficulty with mainly incendiary weapons, incendiary stratagems, and guard dog rovers. They were dying within the first 2 to 3 minutes because of standing right next to the thing they throw explosives at, and they were standing still while attacking berserkers." Then this player also mentioned a minute or two ago they just tried to kill a tank with napalm and incendiary grenades. They also shot at it with the breaker incendiary. They haven't completed a single objective, and they've died several times. Meanwhile, you have someone off camera talking about all the positive changes they've made to fire. Yeah, I actually heard some of those comments too. And I'll reveal some of those clips right here. You can tell that they are using the breaker incendiary shotgun. They're also just using so many odd weapon choices, especially against the automatons. The part that he's talking about specifically can be seen right here, where they throw the incendiary there and then it explodes, and it's terrible. There's also some other clips that I'll throw in here, but overall, yeah, I don't think they know how to play the game either, so it's kind of strange. I wonder who's actually testing the game out. At this point, is there enough testing? I think I've asked that question quite a lot in the past, and I'm gonna say no, I don't think there's enough testing. I definitely recommend that the developers do some sort of PTS test server like Fallout has done, or, you know, Diablo has done. Some games like those are just great examples, and you can actually see some positive benefits from doing some tests like that. And last but not least, because I finally had a sip of water, we are now going to talk about the leaks. If you guys would like to leave now, absolutely do so. We might be going over some spoilers here, potentially. Well, almost definitely with the news update video, which we'll play here in a second. So if you would like to leave, definitely do it now. With that aside, let's go ahead and talk about it. First off, we'll talk about the Bastion tank. As you can see in this image, this was revealed over on Helldivers 2 leaked Discord by Iron Sights. Not only that, but Emptiness over on Helldivers 2 leaks has also revealed the projectile visual here. So you can kind of see what it's going to be like. Now, this right here, this of course can be scrapped, you know, changed. They might, you know, add a different effect to it. So I just want to throw that in there. With that aside, we're now going to check out the news video, and this was revealed over on Helldivers 2 leaks as well. All the links will be down below if you guys would like to check it out. But this right here was revealed by Asunder Knight. So here's the clip. We're going to play it now, and let's go for it.
Good evening. I'm your host, Coretta Kelly. Today, the mysterious cloud of spores known as the Gloom finally showed signs of slowing its growth. The cloud, which began emanating from the core of the Terminid quarantine zone last week, has doubled in size almost every day and now encompasses nearly a dozen solar systems. All attempts to peer into the gloom so far have failed, and military probes sent inside have all quickly ceased broadcasting. Experts speculate that the gloom could be some kind of mutation incubator, supercharging the already extremely high rate of Terminid evolution. Currently, efforts are underway to construct a sturdier probe by insulating it in several layers of aluminum foil. That's Liberty's latest. I'm Coretta.
Things are about to get quite scary, and it also appears that we might see some new enemy types, considering they just put a question mark over one of the Terminids and talk a bit about how they're evolving. I also found it quite funny that they talk about the tinfoil there at the end. But yeah, I feel like we're definitely going to see some new enemy types. Not too sure how this spore is going to affect biomes. I wonder if that's going to play a part, maybe a new planetary modifier. Something like that would be cool to see. However, I think they have mentioned somewhere in the video that they tried to send a probe in and it lost transmission or lost something. But yeah, that probably is not possible. But we'll see what goes on with this as well. With everything being said, this is your Helldivers 2 News. We're now going to check out the top 3 comments from the previous video. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below. The first comment is by EuroKing3941. So let me get this straight, Arrowhead. You release an entire paid premium war bond with flamethrower weapons and flame-resistant armor, and you nerf flamethrower damage on a majority of enemies immediately before it comes out. Galaxy Brained Balance. The second comment is by Alabama Pilot 244. Look how they massacred my boy, me holding my firebreaker. And last but not least, Mr. McCavity said, they keep nerfing things we like to use and not buffing things enough when we don't. Devs, please. And there's the 3 top comments. If you have not seen your comment previously and it was the top comment, I think I have figured out what's going on. I actually have to check out the videos in a private tab so that I'm not connected, right? And for some reason it shows the comments differently. So expect the comments to be correct now. And on that note, thank you guys so much for commenting and checking out all the videos. Appreciate the love, and I'll see you guys in the next one.